morning, guys. I wanted to get something off my chest. As you can see from the title of this video, I often read when people say that black people can be racist, or sometimes people even say, oh, black people are so much more racist than whites. But reverse racism is real, you know. When a black person says, I don't want to have anything to do with white people, oh, you're being racist. I don't even want to have anything to do with white people. And I'm white, people. No. Why is not... When you look at racism, and you have to look at the whole of racism, what it really is a system. Racism is not me calling a black person a random name because of their skin color. Of course, that's racism, but I mean, is much deeper than that. Like when I, as a white person, go somewhere in a black country like Nigeria, let me just use Nigeria for an example. When I go to Nigeria, I benefit from my skin color, guys, every day. Even in Germany here, is a predominantly white society. I benefit from my skin color. Not to talk of when I go where maybe the whole of Owerri, you will see only 3 or 4 white people. I wouldn't know if it's like that, but I'm just saying. So the system as it is now, it was constructed like this for hundreds of years. And the most powerful tool of racism is slavery and colonialism. This word is just going to break my tongue one day. Why? Because when white people came to Africa, they came showing themselves as superior to the black people, digging out things that black people taught them. You know, what we don't have in our history books is that the civilization we have in Europe today was brought to us by black people. Even black people don't know that. Even many black people don't know that. They don't know that the Moors, they were West Africans and North Africans and Central Africans that came to Europe and ruled Spain. They brought civilization to us. They showed us how to use soap, how to be clean, how to behave like a decent human being, you know. All these things we didn't know that before the Moors brought civilization to Spain. Did you know that the Moors ruled in Spain for 700 years? Where is that in our history books? It's nowhere to be found. Because why? If you are giving black people that power of having once ruled over white people, wouldn't black people start like kind of questioning, oh, we were once at that point of having such a power in a white man's country over white people, and where are we now? So of course they have to hide that history from you people, because knowing your true history is knowing your true power, and knowing your true power means you will break out from that system of racism as much as you can, because you can't. If white people will not stop racism, black people cannot stop being victims of racism. Okay, that sounds like I'm victimizing a black person, which I don't. The fact is, okay, I've said that before, I've used that example before, but I think it's just it sums everything up. Okay, when you see a child that was sexually molested, or it mustn't even be a sexual molestation, if it was molested, would you walk up to that child and tell the child to stop whining about their molestation, stop crying about what happened to them and move on, because after all it was 5 years ago, your molester, is he not in prison? Can't you stop pulling the molester card and blah blah blah? Nobody would do that. No person that has senses would tell a child that was abused or molested to move on, or to even go out and fight against what happened to them. No, you will not do that. What you will do is you expect authorities to step up for that child and get justice on that child's behavior. But when it comes to racism, we be all in our feelings like, oh, but I'm not racist. I never owned slaves. My neighbor's cousin is black. I can't be racist. But it is not like that. I've seen white women raising black children, having black husbands, you know, and they are still racist. So you mingling with all the black people in the world is not going to make you less racist. That is just the point. That's because in the society we were not raised to understand what racism really means. We were only raised to define racist, non-racist, based on the fact, are you against foreigners or are you not against foreigners? And that is not even, that is just like the tip of the iceberg. That's so... So when you come up with white people looking at racism and they be like, of course, I never owned slaves too. Like, I'm too young for that. But that does not mean that I do not reap the benefits of slavery and that I do not benefit from the system of oppression that is still going on till I don't know when it is ever going to stop. And me confessing that I'm benefiting from that system does not make me guilty in no way. That is what white people don't understand. You standing up and being like, okay, there is racism. What can we do about it? It's not going to make you guilty, for God's sake. It is not going to make you guilty. Keeping quiet, crossing your hands like, oh, but I never owned slaves, so I cannot be racist. That is what makes you guilty. Because like Jane Elliott did that experiment and she asked a room full of white people, if you want to be treated like society treats black people, raise your hand. Who raised their hand? Not even one person. Because they know. We know. Don't let them fool you. All of us, every white person in this world, we know what is being done to black people. We know. And we do not want to step up because I think we are afraid of losing that our benefit, or we are afraid of losing our comfort. I really don't know why, but I know that we all know. Everybody knows. The politicians, even every random white person, we know that we are racist and the system is racist. The problem is realizing it and making a change against that. So sometimes when people tell me, oh, the only thing you talk about is racism, you see racism everywhere. Because racism is everywhere, my friend. It is in every corner of this country. It is everywhere. If you go to the smallest child, or if you go to the oldest person, if you go to any authority, if you go to any shop, if you walk along the street, there is racism at every damn country, every damn corner of this country. And then they are telling me not to see racism everywhere. Why won't I see racism when it's everywhere? All of you, you're all, every white person in this country, they are part of the deal. I'm part of the deal too, but I don't want to be part of it. That is why I keep telling people, step up, talk. It is not going to make you guilty. If you can come up and actively make a change. I'm not expecting every white person to come up holding posters, marching or whatever. Actually, I do, but I mean, you know, the little you can, do it. Research. Google is free. It's not as if they are going to take €100 from your account if you come and start researching about our own privileges. We were given these privileges. We are not given these privileges. We stole it. We are stealing it still. We are stealing privileges of when we are going to predominantly black societies like Nigeria, Ghana, the whole of Africa basically, even Northern Africa where people are fair, they still make a difference between their fairness and our whiteness, you know? Once you come from Europe, it is not even only a white thing, it's a Western thing. All this exploitation that has been going on in Africa is what is benefiting the Western world all over the place. What does Germany have? That's, oh, let me show you this passport here. What does it have that the Nigerian passport doesn't have? Huh? This passport, what does it have? It is the same, it is exactly the same papers they printed it on. It's the same thing that warrants me to travel. Why must I be free to travel for 190 countries in the world and a Nigerian cannot even go to South Africa? They are the same continent, their own brothers and sisters without a visa. Is it because the Africans want it like this or because the West did it like that? Who had these borders before? Borders, independence, visas, all these things is part of racism. So racism is not calling each other's names because of color. Racism is systematic oppression and discrimination of the black child, of the African nation, you know? It's so much deeper. So when black people, when white people be like, we are not racist, you must not come out and say, oh, this black person, he's thinking for you to be racist. No. The fact that you are not realizing your privileges, you are racist. Because had it been you are actively caring for other human beings around you, you open your mouth and talk. You open your mouth and tell others why we are where we are today. We are where we are as white people, because we are exploiting the African continent, because our politicians are exploiting the African continent, because we are here, we are stealing resources, human resources, natural resources. We are stealing everything stealable, and then they are here. But I'm not racist because I've never owned slaves. Keep quiet. The anger I get when I hear white people telling me not to talk about racism because it's not my problem. Racism is a white problem. It is a white invention and it's a white problem. It can never be a black problem, because black people didn't wake up one day, oh, let us set up a system of racism so that we'll be fucked forever. No, it was white people marching into Africa like pieces in Africa, like a cake. Was it not 1884 at the Berlin Conference that they shared Africa, like the Portuguese and the British and the France and the Germans and the Belgians, that they shared Africa like a cake? We are taking this part, you are taking this part, you are taking this part. Up to today, the former French colonies, they are paying billions of euro every year to France. That France is financially where they are. Is it not because they are getting money from Africa every year? But people don't know that. That is why we are all racist. How many white people have stood up and rooted for reparations or for post-colonial taxes to be stopped? We are here, we are paying money. We have been paying money to the Jews for I don't know how many years. Descendants of Jews. But not for one day has any Western government apologized for the genocide they did in Africa. Genocide, however you want to pronounce it. Not for one day. Not for one day have the Germans come out. Is it not just of recent, this 2018, that we came out and we even did, it's not even that somebody once addressed something in whatever way does not mean anything as long as there is no justice. Our president, did she not come out and say, yeah, we did a genocide at the Hereros? The people that, the Germans, they went to Namibia and killed thousands of Namibians. They almost went instinct because they almost killed them out because of the way they slaughtered them. Up to today, black people cannot go where white people are living in South Africa, on their own continent, in their own countries, and you are telling me not to be seeing racism everywhere. I'm seeing racism everywhere because it's everywhere, not because I'm driving. I'm going to read all these comments later and I'll get back to you people. Why I'm so angry about this is because we are showering ourselves in innocence that we do not deserve. We are born into a system of guilt. Every white person is born into a system of guilt, and it's about our own to stand up and take responsibility for our own actions. Of course, I cannot take responsibility for one random person's actions that one day went to Africa and enslaved people. No, I am not saying that we are all guilty in a sense of we all own slaves or we are still owning slaves. I am saying we are guilty in a matter of fact that we keep quiet to the obvious, and there is no worse guilt than keeping quiet to the obvious. If you pass along this road now and you see a child being molested or being beaten, or a woman or a man or whoever, and you walk past that molestation and you walk past that violence, you're guilty. You are guilty because you did nothing to stop what was in your power to be stopped. It is not, I'm not saying you should go and start beating people up when you see it. At least use your phone, call police. You have already helped. But the smallest action against racism, we will not do it because, of course, we want our freedom. But why can't we stand up and use the freedom that we anyway stole from others to do a better, work for a better tomorrow for all of us? I'm not going to watch my children being oppressed and raising them submissive because one fool thinks that they are only half of a human because they have a black father and a white mother. It is never going to happen. I prefer to have stubborn children that have problem every year now and then because they know the truth and they are not afraid to speak the truth, than have children that grow up looking for themselves all their lives. No, we cannot continue like that. We cannot continue like this. When I look at the history of Germany, there are several freedom speakers in Germany, you know. When you look at their heritage, they are all black. They are all black, or they are somehow immigrants or whatever. Why? Why can't we see white people standing up for each other? What kind of senseless, disgusting human must I be to see violence and to see injustice happening, and I'll just be like, oh, but it doesn't affect me, so it's not my problem? How do these people sleep at night? How do you sleep at night facing injustice and racism without making a move to stop it? That's what I don't understand. Don't people have conscience in this country, in this world? White people, don't we have conscience? What even bothers me is those white people that I'm seeing, you people, all of you, on my timeline. Some of them, their children school with my son, or maybe their kids go to kindergarten with my son. They are saying what I'm talking about. Don't mind them. They are saying it. They will still not do anything. They will still not talk. You'll be like, after all, what am I going to do? I'm only one. Yeah, you're only one. But if we come together, are we not many? Are we not going to be many? Look at what happened. The other day I shared something. One Turkish, she's German Turkish. Her name is Idil. She's receiving death threats from racists. And what happens? Her lawyer is a Turkish person. How many white people, how many Germans have I seen speaking out against this? Only the ones within my circle, the one that I know that are already aware of the problem. They are the ones speaking out. Where are those random white people walking on the streets, seeing things happening? Where are those people that denied us an apartment? They even denied shaking my husband's hand. All these, the doctors we have gone through, countless doctors that refused to treat him, that refused to shake his hand when we go and sit down in their waiting room. The authorities that refuse to attend to him, that always question his intelligence, his language skills, his entire being, because of what? I will be there. They will look at me. Does your husband speak German? Ask him. Is he not here? Ask him if he speaks German. What are you? Is he underage that he needs my consent or my permission to speak? All these small things. This is racism. It's so deep and so it's everywhere. It's everywhere. And then people are surprised that I'm angry. If I just start thinking about it, I feel like squeezing somebody's neck. Because when we were looking for an apartment, 2012, 27, we were looking for 27 places. We were able to provide every document they needed, and yet some people, there was a woman in the next city where I'm just coming from. She saw my husband. She plain and simply told me face to face that, oh, she's sorry, she just rented the apartment out. I was like, oh, okay, but you called us to come here for an appointment to see the apartment. The husband came down and said, oh, the next people are here, that he wants to go and show us the apartment. Their wife now told him, but I rented it out. He said, how? Without my consent. The woman did not even want us to see the apartment. You know, a doctor, yeah, I'm telling you, Helena, I'm telling you, I was there with him. The doctor, my husband had an injury on the hand. So if you have to press the hand to know what happened. The man did not even look at him. He did not even, no x-ray, no nothing. He just told him to take painkiller. But I said, is painkiller going to undo the injury he has? Or, I mean, I don't need to be a doctor to know that this is never going to work. Am I telling him how to do his work? So what did we do? We left it. I later reported him to higher authorities, and I never heard about that case again. There are so many things going wrong in this country that sometimes when people tell me, oh, they want to go to Germany so bad, you people, please, the safety we have here and the social security we have here, it cannot. I don't think any African can stay in Europe forever, as in forever is not possible. For me, I wouldn't even want my husband to stay here forever, because there is just a place in your life where you feel like you need peace. You need peace. You want to settle, and that is it, And I'm not seeing myself now, me, that I'm not even directly affected about racism. I cannot even stand what people do and how disgusting they are. Not to talk of somebody that experiences this on a daily basis, when your skin color becomes your, the point of attack for other people. Like me, I can dissolve within many people. You will not see me again because I'm white. I'm one of many here. Unlike when I go to Nigeria, I'm one of 10 maybe in that city. So anywhere I go, of course, people will always see me. So I have quite a bit of idea how it feels to be, one that stands out. But in Nigeria, what I have experienced is love. That is just love. There is no other word for it. People, when I go to the village and they have not seen a white person, they come. They talk to me in a friendly manner. They want me to buy from them. They just want me to stop by and talk to them. And I do that. Sometimes when I go to the market, my husband will call me on the phone. Where are you? I thought you just wanted to go and buy egg. I said, I'm coming. I'm in the fourth market now. I'm still buying something, So it's something that it makes me feel among, even though I am a foreigner. But here, we make foreigners feel like terrorists self. We make them feel bad about everything they are. Their entire identity is a problem here. How can you expect somebody to integrate and at the same time outcast that person to an extent that the person will be questioning their entire being? You as a white person, you have never, if you don't have black children and you don't associate yourself with black people, I've seen my child, I've looked my first child, the one I gave life. I suffered for him. I love my children with all my heart. I've looked them in the face and my son said, why do people hate me because of my color? And if you tell me that it does not move you, you're heartless. It cannot. I've looked him in the face and I don't know what to tell him. How will I tell him that people like your mom are hating people like your dad because of what? There is no explanation. There is nothing I can tell this child to ease his pain, to ease the pain of being outcasted in the place he grew up in, to be outcasted in everything he is. Germany is everything he is. He has been here. He speaks German. This is his place. He knows all the places here, just like I did. I grew up here. Yet people are telling him, oh, your German skill, your German is good. Where are you from? He will tell them he's German. He's Nigerian. If he tells them he's Nigerian, oh, but where else? Because of course he's too dark to be, too fair to be only black, but he's too dark to be only German. What do you want to tell what are you doing? Why are you outcasting a child that is supposed to be among all of us? Are we not one? If you cut yourself open, is it not blood you see? If my husband cuts himself open, is it not the same blood? The same blood you see? And then the definition of racism is another racism itself. How can you tell me that racism is if one race hates another? Meanwhile, the race theory has been thrown away since, because it's rubbish. There is nothing like races. We are not racist. We are human beings with different nationalities, different ethnicities, different cultures. We are not cat and dog that we cannot interbreed. So if we were to be different races, how can I have a child with a man that is of a different race than I am? It's not possible. So sometimes when I'm being told not to see racism at every corner, then I wonder, do you know, you that is telling me that, do you know that we are the problem? That we are the problem. We caused it. It doesn't matter if we caused it 500 years ago or if we caused it yesterday. We caused it, and we are supposed to stop what people like us started in the first place. They say the victim's only responsibility is healing. They let people heal first from the scars they are still being caught with. White people are still cutting fresh scars in black people's skin every blessed day, and you want them to speak up against what? Against what we did? That's never going to work. They cannot end what they did not start. You cannot expect a black person to end what they were forced into. It is our responsibility to stop what our people started in the first place. And that is what I want us to do as white people. Togetherness. I want togetherness of all white people globally against the system of racism. Because we can never continue like this. It is never going to work. We have been doing this for the last 500 years. When are we going to stop hating another human being because of the shade of his skin? Does this not sound stupid? I've never seen white people hating white people because they are white. Meanwhile, white people are hating on black people because they are black. But they now go lie down in the sun and they want the tiniest bit of brown because we know brown and black is beautiful. And then we are here discriminating each other. Because at the end of the day, a black person is still your brother, is still your sister, whether you like it or not, because we are still from the same human family. We are all being traced back to Africa, if you want it like that. So you hating on a black person is like you hating on your own mother, because they gave birth to us. They gave birth to white people. So if you're hating on black people, you're hating yourself, because this is where we came from. You cannot be hating black people, because without black people, we won't be here. So when you're seeing this, please, and if you're white, my black people, I know, all of you, you know. I don't need to tell you. You people know. But when you're seeing this and you're white, check yourself. Please, check yourself. I'm not telling you to accept guilt that you do not or cannot accept. I'm just begging you to stop discriminating children like mine, husbands and women like my husband, women like my sisters, my brothers and sisters. I have black people that I met only 2 years ago. They have done more for me than white people I grew up with. We can never continue if there is no unity. And it breaks my heart to see people discriminating my own blood, my own children, because of everything they are. So even my sister here, my own blood sister, that is, she knows. She has been with my kids and she knows how people look at them. If you think I'm high-tempered, you have not seen her. At least for me, I can move away. But she will stay and tell people to stop looking at us. She has seen it. People I have been with, they have seen it. When you move along the street, then sometimes when they ask me, how old are you? I will tell them I'm 28. How old is your child? Tell them he's 10. They will do the maths in their head and they will be like, oh, you got pregnant with 18. You got him with 18. No, I was 15. And the last 5 years of his life. Yes, I was 18 and then. So what? And the next thing they will surely ask me, is your husband his father? And when they ask me that, I will just lose my mind. It's either I will have to walk out on them, or I have to give them a piece of my mind. And it can never be nice. It can never end nice, because I'm tired of these insults. I can take these insults because I'm a grown woman. I know where to take my pain to. But what of my kids? Am I going to leave them to grow up being insulted every now and then because their father is black? Are you people stupid? It can never happen. White people will never claim my children. That is why we raise our kids knowing they are Nigerians first. First of all, they are Nigerians. And they have a white mother. And that is just it. That is what they grow up with. And that is what they are going to grow up with. Because that is the easiest way for them to identify. Raymond once said that when he was like 3 or 4. He said when he looks at himself in the mirror, he sees his afro and his black eyes and his brown skin and his nose. Everything that he sees first reminds him of Africa. That is why he's African first and white after. And the problem with that is his whiteness is never going to be attached to him. He's never going to be able to identify as white or as German. Because even today, white people are questioning his belonging to the German society, a German passport holder for that matter. So, I'm not going to stop. I am not going to stop standing up for what is right. And that has nothing to do with me being strong or me being whatever. That is the only right thing to do. Anything else is putting guilt on your head. I'm not going to be guilty. Not now and not in 20 years' time. I was born into a system of guilt, but I'm never ever going to be guilty of facing racism and keeping quiet about it. It's never going to happen. And I wish that other white people can. You must not put yourself out there. I know it takes a lot, and even for me, it is not easy. Sometimes I wonder, and sometimes the kind of comments or messages I got or I get, I know that it's not for everybody. I know not everybody can put their face in the internet like this for the whole world to see. But the fact is that something needs to be done, and it has to be done from white people. That is my point. And if we can't do it, if you can't step up as a white person, you're guilty. That is it. So I have to pick Munachi from school. I just wanted to use this opportunity to put this out there. If you know any white person, tag them. Let them know. I'm always, there was a white lady that came to my inbox and said she's from America. She somehow saw my video, and she has a black niece and nephew, and their white mother is denying them their blackness, and their father is no longer in their life for whatever reason. She said she saw my video. What is she going to do? I said it's not your responsibility to put senses into your sister's head, but it's your responsibility to teach your own blood where they come from. If the black father is not there, you have to step up. White mothers or white fathers, if the black parent is not there, you step up. Don't tell me you cannot take them to Africa, because you can take them to Spain. You can take them to Turkey, Mallorca, Spain, Greek. Take them to Africa, for God's sake. They are not going to kill you. When I went to Nigeria the first time on my own, Munachi was 2 months and 3 weeks old. People are telling me I'm irresponsible. Why would I take my child to Africa alone? I said, are you people stupid? Am I not going to my family? Am I not going to people that have the same... I'm bringing my blood home to their blood, and you're telling me I'm irresponsible. Even if, God forbid, even if my husband was not in their life, I will be the one. I have to step up, because when the moment I lie down with a black man, I have responsibility to raise black children. That is it. Don't tell me, oh, the father is no longer in their life. Are you not there? Are you not there, mom? Don't you have internet access? Expose your children to their culture, because white people are not going to claim them. You are raising broken souls, in case you don't know. So, with that being said, I'm going to come back to these comments later because I have to go and pick him up from school. So, thank you everybody for watching me or listening to me, or both. I wish you all a wonderful weekend ahead, and you all take care of yourself, okay? Bye-bye.